Hello, fellow developers. I'm Derek Archer, the founder and owner of Hit Your Mark Media, full stack digital marketing agency, and a PayPal champion. And today I'm joined here on this Dev Talk with my co host and fellow PayPal champion, Drew Angel of Angel Eye. Drew, I see that you have a PayPal developer shirt on there. Which year is that from?
This one's from a couple years ago. I've got a stack of them in the closet for a lot of years now, but yep, I think this one was just pretty recent.
Well, this one's from 2023, and so I've got one from this year as well. And so I think there's something of a collect them all the swag among us PayPal champions in the dev community. So if you haven't been to Dev Day, love to see you guys there. And today we're joined by our guest speaker, Janani, Senior Product Manager over Developer Tools at PayPal. And she's going to be introducing a fantastic upgrade to V6 from V5 for the PayPal button development and a really secret and amazing development in AI that's going to make this a breeze to roll out for you in any developer tech stack situation. So, Janani, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. I'm excited to talk about the new JS SDK that we have, as well as the developer tools that's going to make it really easy for you to upgrade over to the latest.
So, Janani, listen, in the PayPal developer community, we're always a bit nervous whenever a big company like PayPal releases a new SDK update because it triggers in our mind, oh, now I kind of have to go through and update all of my past code and my rollouts for my clients and troubleshoot and make sure it works with everything else in my tech stack. Do I really have to do this? But when we were at PayPal Dev Day earlier this year, there were a few things in the demo that we saw that were really quite impressive. That even if the pain point was high, which it's not, guys, we want to kind of introduce you to a really cool tool here. Janani's going to unpack in her demo for us today as well. But even if the pain point's high, why would someone want to update to the SDK V6?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, Derek. I can understand that, people would question why would I want to go through the pain of upgrade, but the new JavaScript SDK V6 is actually, it's shown promising results in the beta integrations that we have done. There is significant enhancement in the button rendering qualities, as well as leading to better conversion that we have observed as well. And yeah, so that's, I think, a big reason that you would want to explore it. But it also, has all of the cool new features that we're building out, from Quantum Leap perspective, the usage-based billing, and all of that will actually get introduced through the new SDK as well. So that's definitely something you would want to check out.
Well, I know, Janani, that the demo you're about to show us here in a little bit is going to far and above blow away the one we saw at conference. But do you remember being in that room, Drew, and they were showing the demo of the button renders side by side? You had the V5 over here and you had the V6 on the page load.
Yeah, definitely. And just some of those demos I saw just spoke directly to the pain points that we do see with those JavaScript buttons. They work through an iframe. Sometimes it takes an extra half a second or second to see the button stack pop up on the page, and a little bit of limited control over where you want those buttons displayed. From what we saw, it looks like they're popping right up instantly. You've got more control, freedom, and flexibility. So definitely excited to learn more about it.
And Drew, you work primarily on WooCommerce WordPress integrations. Is that right?
Right now, yeah, primarily PHP in general, and WooCommerce is one of our larger priorities. But yep, wide range of things we work on under that umbrella, and other languages as well. We dabble in a little bit of everything.
So, Janani, you're going to probably unpack this a little bit more for us, but what's the significance of getting rid of iframes for this new SDK V6?
Yeah, I think it just provides you more, flexibility in terms of, being able to render what you want, and it improves the speed as well. And I think it brings, better security features as well for both PayPal and the merchant.
Yeah, PCI compliance, that's a big one. And
Yeah.
so, it's as developers, like I said before, we often aren't super excited about having to do all the work of rolling out a new update into our own tech stack and workflows, but sometimes those updates are essential for security reasons, and PCI compliance is definitely one of those. Okay, so but what we're seeing in the demos, it sure is impressive. We're going to roll a demo here in a moment on that, and one of the other things we're going to pull out in this is the pain points of developers working with the security and the modularity and some of the V5 parameter confusions. A lot of that is something I normally would have to solve on my own. Drew, you've talked to me before about the pain of going through all the PayPal documentation and just trying to find that one area that talks about the problem you're running into, some conflict configuration that needs to be resolved. Does PayPal have any tool or offering that might encourage the developer community that this is going to be a lot less painful than perhaps it has been in the past, Janani?
Absolutely. We actually have been working on an AI assistant tool that we've been working on it for the very reason that you just mentioned, Derek. Upgrading is not something that anyone is interested in doing, or it's not something fun that is on people's to do list, right? So we wanted to take the pain of upgrade and ease that as much as possible. So we've actually been working on an AI assistant tool that sits right into the developer's IDE. We've started with VS Code, so it sits in your VS Code IDE and helps you accelerate your upgrade and gives you in context assistance and personalized assistance based on your legacy integration. I think that will actually make it really easy for developers to upgrade from their current APIs and SDKs over to the latest.
So, Janani, that's fantastic. And, I kind of expected you'd say something like that, representing PayPal here. But I kind of want to hear from you, Drew, right? Like, you're a developer. Do you have any experience working with this AI assistant? Can you compare it with, you know, rolling this out without an AI assistant in the past? Are you used to doing it with the V4 to V5 as an example? And have you played around with this AI assistant at all? Do you think it's going to make our lives any easier?
Yeah, I have had a chance to play with it quite a bit. Not for the JavaScript SDK upgrades yet. I'm about to dive into that, but more for the general classic MVP or SOAP integrations going to the updated REST APIs that PayPal provides. So, originally without the assistant specifically, using AI tools, I could go in there, I could feed it links to documentation or docs that I've written myself and things to look out for, and then tell it, make sure you're giving me feedback based on these things. Now with the PayPal assistant built into it, it's more fine tuned. So right there within the IDE VS Code, I'm able to have it scan all the existing codes, see kind of what we're working with here. Was it one of the original standard integrations, or more of a newer but still classic integration? What exactly are we working with? And then specific guidance on exactly how to update, where to update, which files need changes, without having to feed it documentation and kind of find the resource myself before it's able to give me answers. It's all embedded now, so it makes it much smoother, much quicker and easier. And I'm definitely excited to play with it for the JavaScript stuff here soon.
So, and Drew, thank you for that. I think for our developer community, it's just helpful hearing from you and your own application of this new cutting edge tool. Can you unpack that a little bit for me? Where are you used to kind of coding? What IDE do you normally use? And what IDE can you find this AI assistant in today?
Yeah, so I typically am working with PHP. So for a long time, PHP Storm was kind of my go-to, just because out of the box that it did what I needed. The PayPal assistant currently, I think, is targeted only at VS Code. Janani can speak to that a little more momentarily. But until they branch off, I was going to go ahead and learn VS Code finally. But using these AI tools made that a lot easier. It just gave me step by step. I was able to get everything set up with the code completion and syntax highlighting and debuggers and all those things that I just was kind of confused about before all of a sudden became very simple. And so now I don't feel lost at all inside of VS Code doing my thing. Haven't opened PHP Storm for a little while now, and I have the PayPal assistant there with me. So it's been a pretty easy transition. These AI tools just make everything great for all sorts of reasons, and having a fine-tuned thing for PayPal makes PayPal specific stuff that much easier as well.
So,
That's amazing.
are you
Uh,
able to talk to that, Janani, a little bit,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the current dev
absolutely.
stack?
Yes, I'm really glad to hear that feedback there, Drew. So yes, I mean we did start off by introducing the AI assistant in VS Code. In our research, I think that was one of the most popular IDEs that's used by developers across the world. So we wanted to start there, but we do recognize that there are developers that use different IDEs as well. So we have also started working on introducing support through Cursor, Claude Code, and other IDEs are also coming, being worked on in the roadmap. So definitely, expanding on that.
Well, I'm excited about that as a cursor user myself, so that's great. But Drew, just said how easy it is to use this tool right within VS Code. And so the tech switch isn't as hard as some of us might fear, just because you do have that AI assistant to help you navigate and learn a new IDE if needed here. So, and Janani, you can find that AI PayPal assistant within the marketplace, right? Within
That's right.
VS Code?
That's right. So yes, so it's really quick. It's very simple. I mean, if you're within your VS Code IDE, just click on the marketplace option, the icon on the left hand side, search for PayPal, install it, and it should happen in a few seconds. And once that's done, you should see the option for launching the assistant. And when you click on that, it will just load up on your GitHub Copilot, and you're good to go.
Great. Well, that sounds pretty straightforward. And I know that sometimes installing a tool can be the easiest part. Some of the fears that I'm hearing in the developer community is, well, what if I get into some kind of edge fringe case, right? I'm trying to roll this out, and there's something in my own tech stack that I couldn't expect to be in the PayPal documentation, the context window on the MCP server where the AI PayPal assistant has been trained. What kind of assurance can you offer to the developer community that this tool's actually going to be helpful in solving fringe cases?
Yeah, that's a great question, Derek. So I think when you think of upgrading and when you actually think of how the past couple of years have kind of shaped up with the advent of adoption of AI tools. A lot of developers have actually started adopting AI tools into their actual development workflow, and oftentimes I think what we have found that AI tools tend to be really good at new integrations because you're starting from scratch. It doesn't have a lot of that background to sort of take into account. But when you're talking about something more nuanced like upgrades, there are a few things that kind of throw you for a loop when you're using a generic tool like ChatGPT or Claude or all of those tools, right? That's kind of where the PayPal's AI assistant is a little bit different. So what we did in addition to embedding it within VS Code, which is in sitting within the developer's workflow, avoiding context switching between DevTalks and other windows and trying to figure things out. It's sitting right there, and it's able to view your current integration, and it's able to give you that personalized recommendation based on your current integration. So it's kind of like continuing the flow from your current integration and telling you, hey, I see that this is how you've done it, and this is how you should do it in the new integration. And the way that we have helped developers with that is what makes this different is basically we have provided the assistant with a lot of that context that you might not find in terms of developer documentation. When you go to the developer docs, you can actually see how to integrate with JS SDK V6, but it doesn't give you it doesn't do a great job of actually upgrading your integration. So that's kind of where the assistant comes in, and we've provided it a lot of that contextual context in the background, giving the LLM models the ability to understand how to actually upgrade the integration, provided a lot of those code samples that would be very helpful for the LLM models, the best practices that it needs to incorporate. All of that, the developers would have to go and manually find it if they didn't use the AI assistant. So I think that's kind of what makes it unique, and in alleviating the pain points that developers tend to see.
Super excited about this. I think there's a lot of excitement in the developer community around AI and the potential that it has. And what we're trying to kind of weed through is what's hype and what's help, right? And so I think even in your own testimony there, Drew, you've mentioned how you've found this helpful. Do you have a specific maybe use case where you're working on a fringe example or a fringe development project and you found the PayPal AI helpful to you?
Well, yeah, so there's a wide array of use cases, but in general, what I would say is one of the most difficult things about doing these upgrades is kind of the cost benefit analysis that these merchants are going through, and how long is this going to take? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's that mindset you're battling with. And one of the most time consuming pieces of these previously, even with AI tools directly, is the time just studying the current code. You may or may not have access to the original developer that did this integration. Could have been 15 years ago or longer, when it was done. And just that time of researching just to kind of get all of the foundation set for what we need to do here. With these tools now, it can basically eliminate the vast majority of that time, because right there in the IDE, it sees the entire structure of the code. It can give you exactly where things are, find all the things for you in the files, and just give you exactly how to do it. If not, do it for you. Another thing it tends to do that I've noticed is, it's easy to just focus on payments. And people get happy. Okay, payments are working now. Let's switch. And you might overlook things like post-transaction processing, maybe instant payment notification, webhooks, reporting features on the back end. This thing does a really good job, because it's been fine-tuned, it seems, of kind of giving you that heads up of what to consider that you might not have thought about when you were just looking at payments. So it just helps prepare you better. It helps avoid all those extra hours of not only the upfront research, but also the back end of, oops, we forgot this. Now we got to dive back in. And that can get frustrating as a developer, because if you didn't consider it, you might not have had it on your scope and in your bid. And now you're working with, okay, do we expand the scope and increase the bid, or do we just eat it? And so it kind of eliminates that as well. It's been very helpful in those ways.
I love that, Drew. We had a customer come to us recently and ask for a scope on a project rollout. And, normally it would take a day to just kind of prepare the scope and think through, okay, well, what things do you have in your architecture that I need to be aware of, and what are some potential ramifications that I'm not even considering?
Exactly.
And so now with the AI, just being able to go in there and say, hey, what about this? What about this? And just fill it with the code that you're working with. Now it can match that up with the PayPal DevTalks codes and say, okay, yeah, you need to think about this, this, and this. And so I found that speed up the proposal time itself tremendously. And also, as you just mentioned there, cut down on the actual cost of rolling out the final deliverable. So I'm finding that merchants are a little more likely to upgrade because the cost savings is better for them. I can pass those savings along. And so this is a huge win for PayPal. It's a huge win for developers. It's a huge win for merchants, honestly, being able to get better access and service like this. So it takes a lot of the pain out of it. Janani, one question for you. So, this mindset shift among developers is kind of starting to happen. There's this concern, what if I'm trusting AI too much, right? And so I'm rolling this out, and AI then says, oh, do this over here. And there's something in the context aware window that it missed.
Mm.
Or maybe I didn't feed it. And so I go to launch and I launch this new product, and the merchant calls me and says, hey, Derek, people can't check out on my site. This is a problem. What can you say about how maybe AI, specifically the PayPal AI, is learning and growing to help overcome some of those real-time, real-world impacts?
Yeah, I think that's a very valid concern that I can imagine, merchants and developers kind of having as you're thinking through upgrades. As Drew had mentioned, I think one thing that is a differentiator with the AI assistant is you can start off by asking the assistant to give you a holistic plan. So that is one thing that, that's point number one that kind of like mitigates the concern that you had just mentioned. Basically, you can ask the assistant to generate that holistic plan, which it will factoring in from all the way from hey, here are the different integration points that I see in your code base. These are the touch points that you need to make sure that you update. Oftentimes upgrades are done to integrations that may have been done years ago, and it might not be the same development team either touching it, right? So
Yeah.
the assistant is able to identify that and really like tell you like these are the places that you need to make the updates. It can give you a holistic plan along with a checklist in terms of hey, don't forget post payments, don't forget error handling, don't forget webhooks and things like that. And it can also help you with testing your integration as well as taking it as far as figuring out the right strategy for you to roll that out. Because like you said, you cannot just roll out a new like the new APIs or the new SDKs. You can't just flip the switch there. You would want to kind of slowly either ramp the traffic and kind of monitor for any issues, or you might even have like a fallback strategy where you would have the traffic, your actual checkout traffic running through your like your latest, and then have a fallback where if something doesn't go right, it would still have the ability to go to the legacy integration while you kind of fine tune all of the issues that you find, right? So the assistant is able to give you that holistic plan and make sure that a lot of those kinks that you might not have considered in a traditional upgrade scenario is accounted for. So that's one thing. The other thing that I also wanted to mention is yes, I mean, as with any LLM model, there is that learning curve as well, right? We are in a beta phase right now and working with a lot of developers and merchants trying to get different scenarios and different edge cases that the model will learn from. And be able to provide that recommendation. I think we fully expect that over time, as the model gets exposed to different use cases and different integration scenarios, it will just get more and more intelligent in terms of providing that recommendation. So and I think one natural question that you might ask is, hey, in the meantime, as the model is getting intelligent, how do I make sure that I am still in control, right? And that's kind of one of the key features of the model, where it's not making the updates for you, it's making your life easier by providing that personalized recommendation, that personalized plan, but you're still in control. You get to look at the recommended code, you get to choose and review what changes you want to accept and reject, and you get to approve and proceed. So that's kind of the other element that mitigates any concerns that developers might have in terms of adopting a tool like this.
Johnny, that's so timely here. I appreciate that. You're absolutely right in the example I gave you earlier. Like that's not AI's fault. That's the That's the senior dev's fault there for allowing a project to kind of go live from a staging site without it being thoroughly tested and vetted. Now, having said that, there's plenty of examples where you test things as best you can in a staging environment, and then there's something, it's that ghost code somewhere in the production environment that comes up and gives you a headache and that you didn't expect. And so in those cases, yeah, having the backup, just rolling back the update so that you can bring the site back up while you troubleshoot the issue there is always best practice for developers. One of the things that I am seeing and hearing in the developer community is, one, people can feel like, okay, AI might replace me or it's replacing some of what I do. But then on the other side, you have this kind of growing maybe like apathy or laziness, like, oh, it's just doing all this work. It's easy for me now. I don't have to check on it. And so the advice I give to my own team all the time is like trust but verify, right? So just get in there and just because it gives you a bunch of code, go ahead and play with that. See if you can break it, then use AI as your friendly assistant to help you figure out why it broke in a certain scenario and then how to fix that. And so it's really like having a junior developer in your back pocket right there engaged with you in real time as you're doing your work. And I just want to encourage the developers who are listening to this, AI is not going to replace you. It's going to help make you faster and more effective, but that's not like an excuse to not be a good developer yourself, right? Always be learning, always be growing, and put the best product out there. And so this hopefully empowers you to be able to do better work, faster work at lower costs so that you can take on even more. Or maybe you keep your costs the same and then you just have higher profit margins because you're able to leverage AI to your benefit here. So with that said, do you think now's a good time, Janani, to queue up the demo and
Yeah, let's do it.
give some a sneak peek at kind of what developers can expect?
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you the latest feature in PayPal's AI Assistant, a VS Code extension that helps you upgrade your PayPal integrations from legacy APIs and SDKs to the latest. So let's dive right in. First, let's see how to get the extension installed. I'm here in VS Code and I'll start by navigating to the extensions marketplace and searching for PayPal. You just have to click it and click install. As you can see, I already have the extension installed. You can confirm that by looking at the PayPal icon in your sidebar. I have a project with PayPal. I have an existing integration with PayPal, and I want to start off by checking if I'm using the latest version of the SDK. And if not, I'm going to use the AI assistant today to help me upgrade to the latest. So let's start by launching the AI assistant. As you can see, I started by asking the assistant what my client-side integration is, and the assistant correctly identified that I'm using a JavaScript SDK V5. Next, I'm asking the assistant here to help me with the updated code along with the necessary files. I've also provided the necessary files in terms of context. The assistant correctly provides me with every single file that needs to be updated along with the updated code as well. It's not just a generic snippet. It's tailored to my existing implementation. This saves you from manually auditing your code base and rewriting the latest integration from scratch. But here's my favorite part. I don't have to copy paste any of these recommended code as well. I just have to click the file and apply in editor. The assistant can apply the recommended code directly. I can just review every change and accept or reject it. I have full control, full transparency. What makes this really powerful is that everything happens right here in my IDE. I don't need to switch between browser tabs, documentation sites, or external tools. The AI assistant meets me where I'm working, within my development workflow. One more thing, flexibility. As you prompt the assistant, you can choose different LLM models based on your needs and preferences. Whether you want a faster response or more detailed analysis, you've got options. And that's the AI assistant.
Fantastic. Great demo there. Short and sweet and to the point. So, Janani, on that demo, I've got to ask you and Drew, what's your favorite AI agent to use? You can pick from pretty much all of them.
Yeah, man, that's been a difficult thing to track down. I use a lot of them. Since I've been doing VS Code and working with the PayPal stuff, I've been pretty much on Claude. Was Sonnet 4 there for a while. Now 4.5 seems to be doing the best. So that's kind of what I've been playing with there for the most part since I've been using the PayPal tools.
Yeah, and I think mine's kind of been a similar, experience. I usually kind of gravitate towards Claude Sonnet, but I do want to mention, as I had meant, as the demo video had highlighted, the assistant does support all of the models that GitHub Copilot supports. So you can use, whatever model you choose and whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, it's tremendous. You're really giving flexibility there to developers to play with the PayPal AI with an engine that they're more familiar with. So I love that. We've talked a bit about how AI is empowering developers today in speed, cost savings, efficiency. It's like having a junior developer in your back pocket or on your screen, as the case might be. And so, how do you think this AI agentic vision forward focus model is going to be affecting PayPal and other products coming in the near future? Do you think AI is here to be an integral part of PayPal's developer process?
I think so. I mean, I don't think it's just PayPal, right? I can see the changes across the world in different companies. Everyone's adopting AI as they clearly see the benefits of in terms of like accelerating your workflow, basically meeting you with that additional thought process, like being a soundboard for you, generating new ideas, and kind of making you a better version of yourself. So I totally see AI getting adopted in all the products and basically our everyday life. I think it's going to be a game changer, and it's going to change the way that we live.
I heard this idea teased at the PayPal Developer Conference this year about agentic AI for e-commerce. What a cool thought. Is that on PayPal's horizon? I mean, obviously they talked about it at Developer Day. What's that look like? What is agentic
Yeah.
AI for e-commerce?
Yeah, I think that is something that PayPal is definitely working on. We do have in agentic commerce offering. You can actually go to PayPal.ai and take a look at the different integration options that you have. PayPal MCP server, and there are some other cool APIs and MCP servers that you can integrate with to bring agentic offering to your customers as well. So there's a lot that's happening on that front.
Fantastic. Well, I'm very excited about the future, Drew. I know you are as well. And so, how could someone start to get involved in, like, SDK V6 just dropped, right? It's brand new. So sometimes there's bugs and there's issues and there's communities that need to mature around it and support and feedback and all of that. So um, in the past, someone would have to kind of be on the inside to get access, but it sounds like now all they have to do is install PayPal AI through VS Code to be able to start kind of getting early access to all of this SDK V6.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it. Try it out yourself. Download the extension from the VS Code Marketplace. Provide us your feedback, and we will provide a link with the video as well, how you can reach back out to us. If you're interested in beta testing the API and providing feedback to us, that's another great way to contribute to the tools that are actually getting built. There is an early access form that you can fill out. It's not just the AI assistant. If you're interested in other AI tools that are getting built out, you can sign up for it and get that early access and the opportunity to provide us feedback and shape the tools that would shape the world. So we will make that accessible in the links below.
And Drew, I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the PayPal Champion program at all for the developers out there who might be interested in joining kind of like an inner circle of PayPal devs. How would someone even learn about the PayPal Champion program?
Yeah, so on the PayPal developer site, pretty sure in the main menu there you can find a spot for the champions. It'll outline who the current champions are, kind of what the group is doing, and how to join them. That's a great group to be a part of. You get kind of inside info on what might be coming in the future, and sometimes if there's fires to put out, you get direct help to put out fires and get it done more quickly. So yeah, it's a great program.
Yeah, one of the things too that's a benefit of the program is just being able to be referred work. So you're really building trust. It's people working with people that makes the world keep moving forward. And AI assists with that now, but it's people with people, and it always has been and always will be. And so you get to build networking connections, go to PayPal Dev Day, be part of a growing community here, kind of an inner circle learning about some of these new releases, playing with them, beta testing them. So there's a huge opportunity for you if you are a developer and you're looking to kind of just grow your connections with potential merchants as well with other developers within the PayPal community. So highly recommend it. Shout out to Karen. Karen leads up the program. Thank you, Karen. And then also just wanted to kind of ask here as we wrap up, Janani, are there any other takeaways that we should be aware of? We've heard a lot today regarding AI assistant, the SDK V6, how that improves security, it improves speed, it reduces potential issues because of iframes in a developer rollout on the e-commerce side. So how would we tune in for more PayPal dev talks like this one going forward?
Yeah, I would say subscribe to the YouTube channel. We also have, the Twitter PayPal developer Twitter account. That's something that we frequently post updates on. So there are different avenues that you can subscribe to, and we will provide all of that in the video description.
Perfect. Awesome. So show notes below. Click those, find out more details about how to sign up and join the community. Thank you all so much for tuning in here with us. Thank you to the production team who worked so hard behind the scenes to make this happen. Like and subscribe and hit up our hashtags. We'll catch you on the next one.